What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you are hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here, so keep listening on that Bitches Positive podcast. Sometimes we will laugh, other times, baby, we're gonna cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is Babe in true connection with herself or himself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. I am currently in Florida, and I'm tapping into my wild woman self because I can do whatever I want as long as I give myself permission to do so. Today we're going to talk about how to reclaim your power. So many of us view ourselves through our failures, through our trials and tribulations, through what didn't go right for us. We don't tap into the unseen world. We don't see all the positive energy that we send to others. We don't see the positive effects we have on other people's lives. We don't see our anointing, the grace upon our incarnation, our blessings that are in the 5D. We don't see any of that. So we are so focused on negative aspects that we're really just teachers and lessons. And we box ourselves in and tell ourselves, that's all I'm ever going to be. And that in itself is giving our power away to our past, giving our power away to our 3D. This podcast episode is not just an episode. It is a vibrational invitation for you to peek inside of the 5D, the unseen world, the mystical dimension, for you to see beyond just this incarnation of who you think you are. You are a multidimensional being that expands far beyond this physical vessel, that expands far beyond this incarnation. You think you know who you are? Let me tell you, you have no idea what you're capable of. But when you start to listen to information like this, you start to get curious instead of just being furious at your 3D reality. You start to get curious, well, maybe I am more. Maybe I am more than who I think I am, who I've been told I am. Maybe I'm able to achieve more. I might not know you personally, but I know you're a human being. And I know what human beings are capable of when they step outside of the matrix they built within their own mind. The matrix is not something out there. Your matrix is your own set of limiting beliefs. That's what's keeping you stuck. That's what's causing you to give your power away. That's what's causing you to be unhappy with your reality. The matrix is not something you have to fight out there. The matrix is in here. So right now, right here, you have to say, I give myself permission to step into all of my light. I give myself permission to show up authentically. I give myself permission to be different than who I think I am. I give myself permission to do what it is I want. I give myself permission to embody the energy I want to embody. I'm so much more than I think I am. I'm so much more than I think I am. You need to be saying this to yourself. You have to alert your subconscious mind, I found out more information, and now we got to have a come to self moment and start looking at our past programming and release it so we can step into our present moment. If you want a 20-minute meditation to help you reclaim your power, you can get that by getting my book, Show Up As Her, and scanning the QR code, and it will take you to that meditation. My book, Show Up As Her, is literally a guidebook for you to reclaim your power from different spheres of your life, whether it's your past, friendships, relationships, dating, whatever you've gone through that you feel has taken a part of your energy and you want that back because you should have it back because it's yours. This book is going to be your holy grail. We're going to be talking a lot about Show Up As Her today because a lot of the answers you're looking for are in this book. I also have a digital workbook that you can start working with right now as we're speaking. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It's literally the Calling Your Power Back workbook. If you don't call your power back, you are setting yourself up for failure. And I'm going to tell you why. Just like you bathe every day, drink water every day, need to eat every day, you need to be calling your power back to you on a daily basis. You don't realize how much you're giving out your energy, how much you're giving out your power. And therefore you come home at night and you feel like an empty bag of chips. You are completely depleted. When you wake up Let's say you're at 100% energy, but then you get on the phone with your mom and you have a conversation that you didn't want to have. You just gave some of your power away. Then you go to your job and you have an argument with a coworker, giving some of your power away. And then you come home and all you want to do is relax, rest, have a nice dinner, but then your friend needs you, your partner needs you. We don't realize how much we're giving our power away. We're thinking to ourselves, there's something wrong with me. I'm always exhausted. No, you just have given so much of yourself away and have not reclaimed that energy. So you're walking around like an empty vessel. And today we're changing that. Before we get into today's episode, of course, if you've not yet gotten your copy of Show Up As Her, you know what to do. If you do want to work with me, I am a certified life and energy coach. I'm also an intuitive channel and guide. And I do offer one-on-one sessions. You can DM me on Instagram at VibinWithCC for more info on that. I always hear, listen to people when they tell you who they are. And that's true. When someone tells you, I'm not a good guy, yeah, listen to him. He's probably not. People have this subconscious need to expose themselves and tell you who they are. And we know this. The part that no one talks about, that I think is even more important, and it's something I talk about in my book, is listen to people when they try to tell you who you are. You're the good girl. You're just the funny friend. You can't go to that party. You're the nerd. We are labeled again and again and again and again by our teachers, by our coaches, by our parents, by our peers. And most of them don't even mean anything negative by this. But we give our power away when we allow someone to tell us who we are. And because we're so young, from ages about 2 to 7, we're actually operating in a theta state. This means that our subconscious mind is wide open. We are basically like a sponge. And what someone tells us we are, we soak up. We take it all in. And this is called the theory of induction. It's even more powerful when someone says who we are to another person. It's one thing if our mother says, oh, it's okay, you're just shy. It's another thing if she tells our teacher in front of us, oh, my daughter's shy. That even integrates that personality type further. You must realize that you are not just one I. You are many different energies. You have the ability to embody many different traits, abilities, talents. But you won't know that those exist within you unless you start looking for them. We're so consumed with trying to ascend out there. Mary Magdalene said it best. A true ascension is not upwards, it is inwards. We have to start looking right here into ourselves if we really want to reclaim our power. The first moment I really believe we give our power away is when we allow someone else to tell us who we are, and we believe it. We believe the label more than we believe in ourselves. We believe the label more than we believe in our ability to change. We believe the label more than we have faith in who we can become. I recently saw Frozen, and when the main character Elsa was singing Let It Go, I really resonated with that. I feel like it was the perfect song for me to hear and share with you. The lyrics are, I couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know, so let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore, let it go. Turn away, slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say, let the storm rage on. Elsa, as well as me, Cece. We are inviting you to let the storm rage. Let yourself reclaim your own identity. You want to reclaim your outer reality? As above, so below. The law of correspondence. Whatever is going on out there is a reflection of what's going on in here. You want to reclaim your life, your friendships, your relationships, your career, your body, your thought forms. You have to reclaim your self-concept. You have to reclaim the identity you're telling yourself on a daily basis that you are. Because that identity most likely isn't who you actually are. It's who someone else told you you are. Instead of being the good girl, the class clown, the silly friend that you've always been, what about inviting yourself to be all of who you are rather than just one embodiment? What about inviting yourself to be, okay, the funny friend and also really serious at her job and also super spiritual and also her witchy self and also her chaotic self and also her very passionate self and also her very A-type personality self? We are all of these things. And until you realize this through listening to something like this podcast, through reading the books, until you realize that you don't even know to give yourself permission. And that's the first step to reclaiming your power, is giving yourself permission to let go of who you've been told you are and to reclaim exactly who you came here to exist within. I want to bring us to page 18 in my book. If you have the book, feel free to open up and follow along. If you're listening to this podcast, it's because you are at some sort of critical point in your life. And that's where I was when I decided to reclaim my power. I was going through a breakup and had these really intense feelings of incompleteness. I looked out there for months for an answer. And the only answer I got was go inside of yourself. I felt I had a choice to make, and whatever I chose would change my life forever. I could allow my story to continue to tell me, or I could be the one to tell my story. I decided to take back my pen and write my story. So what did I do? I figured I literally could not feel any worse, so why not read what my therapist recommended? If reading that book had even the slightest chance of shifting how I felt, it was worth taking. If reading the book didn't do anything, at least I had something to distract me for the time being. I knew I had to try something new because what I was doing, aka crying every single day, wasn't the cure I was looking for. What I didn't know that reading one book would lead me to spiritually awaken, find my purpose, and lead me back home to myself. While I didn't understand half of what I read, it got me curious. I started looking at myself and the world differently. I started asking different questions, which led me to different answers. As I turned my attention to things other than my ex, I was not only learning new, interesting things, but also having waves of positive emotions wash over me every so often. I remember one night specifically when things really took a positive turn. I was standing in front of my mirror, feeling quite unamused at my reflection. My eyes darted from my stomach to my thighs, to my hair, to my skin, to my arms, to my lips, to my... You get the point. It was easy to pick apart everything I saw. It was even easier to blame my life and my reflection on my past, on the people who had hurt me, on my anxiety, on society, on my genes, even gluten. I admit that one was a bit of a stretch since I wasn't really sure if I had any sensitivity, but still, standing there dignified, I thought, this is probably gluten's fault. I was angry at life and felt powerless. I saw myself as a victim of circumstance, which is just another way of saying, well, there's nothing I can do, so I might as well stay in this familiar dumpster fire I call my life. Then my gaze shot back up to eye level, and I found myself looking into my own eyes. There was something intriguing about looking at nothing else but my eyes. I stepped closer to the mirror to investigate the ins and outs of my irises. I turned on my mirror light and marveled at how my pupil constricted itself to allow less light in. Within seconds, my eyes knew how to adjust themselves to keep me protected and healthy. It was in this moment that I realized my body was working for me. It was always working for me. It was in this exact moment that a flood of information downloaded into my being. This is what many in the spiritual community refer to as a spiritual download. A spiritual download is a random burst of high vibrational inspiration, guidance, knowledge, or an idea that conveys a message to help us along our journey. Because I raised my vibration and I started to read different material, listen to different material, as I elevated my frequency, my thoughts elevated with me. And that's how I was able to grab hold of that spiritual download, that insight. I literally gasped. It was like a light bulb went off in my head, and I understood that I was so much more than this powerless victim. I realized if I got myself here, I can get myself out of here too. My life circumstances weren't about my ex, my past, or anyone else. My focus, my attention, my thoughts, my energies, my actions, and my habits are what got me there. It was me. I was the culprit. If I kept blaming my life on circumstance, I would never get the power back into my hands. In taking responsibility over my life, I finally took my power back. If this was the life I had created by accident, oh my God, I wondered, what kind of life could I create on purpose? And this propelled me into action. The sad, sleepless nights I'd once had turned into nights of discovery as I read books, listened to podcasts, learned different spiritual teachings, signed up for seminar after seminar, and talked to God. As I dove into quantum physics, self-love, and manifestation, I noticed that I focused less on my past and more on what I could do with myself now. I would read about a concept and then immediately experiment with it. I didn't want to just learn, but truly understand how I could heal myself and work with the universe around me. Through my own experiences, I began to learn how to use my power to manipulate the energy around me and create a better life. Instead of dating my past, I began to date my present. I became obsessed with becoming the best version of myself. My spiritual awakening was not a sudden burst of insight. Rather, it was an ever-folding process of awakening to my own power. I took my power back by taking my focus back and placing it upon subjects that would allow me to grow rather than subjects I didn't have control over. Empowerment didn't arrive as a gift on my doorstep. It was something I gained through disciplined focus on myself and the present moment. As I began to awaken to my own power on the inside, the changes became evident on the outside. Instead of spending my time crying, I now had energy to create. I channeled this newfound energy into starting my own coaching business and podcast and built a social media following across multiple platforms. I released 40 pounds, healed my relationship with my ex, and felt empowered. Before I knew it, I was reaching millions of people globally and helping them become the subjects of their own lives again. My journey from heartbreak to wholeness is an ongoing testament to the power we all have within ourselves, but seem to have forgotten about. If I have the power to drastically change my life, so do you. On some level, you know you're meant to stand in your power. A part of you knows you're meant to feel empowered, loved, and whole. If you're giving your power away, it's not going to feel good. And that's why you're listening to this episode right now. Your inner being has brought you to this episode so you can reclaim and remember who you actually are. The biggest secret of all is that you have the power to become your own living testimony of success. Now, this book is 10 laws on how to reclaim your power, embody magnetic energy, and positive manifestation. If you want an in-depth look at how to reclaim your power, this is the book for you. Today, we're going to talk about some of the key components. The first part of reclaiming your power is to realize that the root produces the fruit. Your root of how you identify is producing the reality you exist within. You can't be the CEO if you see yourself as a lazy couch potato. You can't be the serious girl if you only see yourself as a class clown. You have to give yourself permission to be all that you are. Now, this is a mantra that's in the book, but I want us to say it together so that we can reclaim who you are right now. I'm going to read it through first, and then you're going to repeat it after me. The whole mantra is, with gratitude, I release the identity I have created in order to survive, to make room for my true essence to shine through. Now I'm going to say it slower. With gratitude, I release the identity I have created in order to survive, to make room for my true essence to shine through. With gratitude, I release the identity I have created in order to survive, to make room for my true essence to shine through. The thing is, no one can take your power away. We can only willingly give it away. Because you were so young and unconscious and in a theta state, you unconsciously gave your power away because you believed the adult who told you who you were, instead of realizing that actually, I'm so much more. We are either willing to continue to write the same story, or we're willing to write a new one. What do you want to do? You want to write a new one. Great, we're on the same page. I took my pen back and wrote a different tale because it's my life and I can simply do what I want. Get this. If I'm a human and I was able to take my pen back to write my new story, so can you. You are also a human who has the same ability. You too are a powerful co-creator, creating in union with an all-loving God. You have so much more creative authority than you're giving yourself credit for. This is not a moment to blame ourselves. Why have I been like this for so long? You've been this way because you were a child and you didn't know better. It doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is, where do you want to go? How do you want to exist within this current moment? That's all that matters now. Your past, let it die. Let it go. So what? You've been in identity for 20 years, 30 years. It doesn't matter. Who do you want to be today? Every single time you wake up, you are invited to decide who you wish to be. You are invited to embody whatever energy you want to embody. It's your decision every single day. I think cancel culture has made us think we have to exist within one energy and one energy only. F that. Be whoever you want to be on any given day. It's your decision. The second thing you have to do to reclaim your power is to reclaim your focus. You feel powerless when you focus on things that suck you of your power. You feeling powerless is a symptom of focusing on things that are not serving you. I felt powerless when I was trying to beg people to stay in my life. I felt really powerless when I didn't take conscious control over what I was putting into my body. I felt powerless when I was trying to be in my hyper masculine energy, controlling everything and everyone. But I felt powerful when I started to say, you know what? Instead of controlling other people, I'm going to control the degree to which I surrender. Instead of focusing on my past, I'm going to start dating my present. Instead of focusing on what could have been or what was, I'm going to focus on what can I do with my energy right now. So many of us, I think, get stuck in why did this happen? Instead of asking why, ask yourself what? What can I do with my focus? What can I do with my energy? What can I do with my physical vessel to build myself up? Am I hurting myself or am I healing myself in this moment? Because it's either or. You're either hurting yourself or you're healing yourself. Which one is it? I definitely tend towards a more anxious person. I can definitely get in that kind of flow. But this is not actually a negative thing. This is a really powerful thing if you tend towards anxious attachment, if you tend towards being hypervigilant. But instead of having negative obsession over people you can't control, situations you can't control, channel your ability to focus on one thing and one thing only in a positive way by picking up a book and reading it, by taking my Shadow Alchemy course, by doing the Calling Your Power Back workbook. You having the ability to become obsessed with someone or something is a positive thing. But if you're channeling it towards someone who doesn't want to be in your reality, towards something that's depleting you, towards something that's not growing, then you're going to deplete yourself, and that's giving your power away to that thing. That's what I would call negative obsession. You're obsessing over something that's hurting you. But instead of doing that, use your ability to focus, to be obsessive, and learn a new skill. Go do a workout, read a book. What is something you've been wanting to learn, something you've been wanting to get into, and use your ability to be obsessed with something and channel it into learning, becoming better, hotter, healthier, wealthier. It really doesn't matter whether you stay an hour longer at work or you start getting into a new book club or you start going to energy classes. It doesn't matter what you do, but you need to direct your mind, because if you don't, your mind will automatically go to whatever is the loudest thing in your reality. So if the loudest thing in your reality is that breakup, you're going to become negatively obsessed with your ex and your past. So you have to direct your mind and say, actually, no, I'm in control and I'm going to refocus on something that's going to build me, heal me, or help me. I'm going to direct my mind. Literally tell yourself, I am the director of my own life and I direct my mind. I am the director of my own life and I direct my mind. I am the director of my own life and I direct my mind. To say that your mind is controlling you is lying to yourself. That's a lie. As much as you are a physical vessel, you are a divine being and you have so much authority over this vessel. Use it. Start encoding your subconscious mind with what you want to see in your reality instead of just believing the identity that some rando, I don't care if it was your mother, some rando human told you that you are. If you're having trouble with this, use the 15-minute rule. If you're thinking, Cece, I need to text my ex, say, you know what? I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes and I'm going to go learn something new. I'm going to listen to a TED Talk. I'm going to listen to a podcast. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to go for a walk. In 15 minutes, if I really still want to text my ex, maybe I will. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to even remember to look at the clock. 9 times out of 10, that urge will have left your body because it's just an energy moving through. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to care anymore. If you still care, say, I'm going to give myself another 15 minutes just for good measure and give yourself a total of 30. You have to work on saying, I'm going to direct my mind and then giving yourself something to focus on. You have to work with interrupting that neurological pathway of where's my kiss? I want to text my ex. Where's that hug? I want to text my ex. You have to work with interrupting and directing. And your mind will listen to you. You can train your mind like you train a dog, but you have to realize that you can, which is why I'm telling you this. And then you have to actually do it. This is not about being perfect. This is a practice. Some days you're going to feel better than others. Whoop-de freaking do. It doesn't matter. Just show up as her. Show up as your best self every single day and do what you can. And if you're having a day where you just need to cry for 45 minutes, let yourself cry. Feel it to heal it and then refocus on whatever else you need to do. I used to have crying sessions because I needed to move out the energy in my body. And I would tell myself, okay, I'm going to give myself 45 minutes, up to 45 minutes to cry, to revel about my past. And then I got to go to work. I got to go to the workout class. I got to go to school. I got to go to my internship. Then I have to refocus and I need to do what I need to do. 45 minutes and then I'm done. This allowed me to feel what I needed to feel and then positively obsess about things that were going to help me grow rather than things that were just stealing my attention, my focus, and my energy. Whatever you give your attention to, you give your energy to, and you give your power to. If you don't want something to be a big deal, don't give it big attention. If you want something to be a little deal, give it little to no attention. What you feed with your focus and your energy and your attention is what's going to grow in your life. Does it make any sense to you to keep focusing on your past? Does it make any sense to you to keep focusing on what could be? No. Focus on your present moment. When we think about our past, we get depressed. When we think about our future, we get really anxious. Where do we feel our best? When we're in the now, when we're in the present moment. That's where you need to put yourself. When you're thinking about your present, you are embodying all of your energy. You're going to feel energized. You're going to feel grounded. You're going to feel amazing. But if you're too hyper vigilant of your future, then you start sending energy out there. Where is it even going? But nowhere. When you start becoming obsessed about your past, you're sending energy back there. What is it doing? But nothing. If you want to be less mass and more energy, more divine, you want to be plugged into what's in front of me right now. You want to be positively channeling your ability to become obsessed into something that can help you grow. Maybe you start a side hustle. Maybe you get into the best shape of your life. Maybe you start learning how to heal your body through food. Pick something you're interested in and give it your attention. It's 4:44 on my clock right now. Stability, security, and foundation is here for you. So many of us are afraid to reach rock bottom. We're so afraid to look at our reality because we're thinking, ooh, this is scary. I don't like what I created. But guess what? You can't move forward if you're in denial about where you are. Reaching rock bottom actually rocks because you literally can't go any lower. You cannot go any lower. It's only up from here. So congratulations. You aren't breaking down. You're breaking open to let the light in. You are breaking the box your ego placed you in, and you're breaking the glass ceiling that seemed impossible to penetrate. This isn't the setback. It's a setup. Everything isn't falling apart. It's falling together. This is not the breakdown. This is the breakthrough. I have been working with calling my power back to me from every lifetime, every dimension, every timeline, every person, because it's not just this current incarnation that we've experienced. We actually had much tougher incarnations many lifetimes ago when we didn't have easy access to food and water. We had less rights. We had less ability to survive. What I've been doing is calling my power back from every lifetime, every person, every dimension, every inch of the universe. You can say, I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now from every person, place, timeline, and dimension. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now from every person, place, timeline, and dimension. And imagine white light energy just shooting back into your body through the top of your head and filling you up from the tips of your toes to the tip of your head. And breathe it in. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now from every person, place, timeline, and dimension. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now from every person, place, timeline, and dimension. And breathe this in, breathe this in, breathe this in. See the white light energy going through the top of your head, filling up your whole entire body, and just breathe it in, soak it in. Let it infiltrate back into your system. Calling your power back on a daily basis, you will feel a difference. Other people are going to see you differently. You're going to feel differently. And you're going to show up to a different reality. There are so many different ways to take back your power, and that is why I created this book. Every single chapter is about taking back your power from a different sphere of your life, whether it's your emotions, people, your masculine energy, the way you speak about yourself, having faith. Every single chapter will equip you with mantras, with journal prompts, even meditations to help you show up as that best, most desired self. There are so many different versions of you, and it's just up to you which ones you wish to activate. I hope this podcast episode resonated with you, shed light on a new aspect of you, and helped you walk away as a more powerful version of yourself. I love you so much. The sparkle in me, as always, honors the sparkle in you, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.